Just a second. Alright, there we go. That was Louis Rossman going off about tariffs like an ignorant fool. TLDW. His point is, I don't want to have, there's no factories in America yet to do this. No one will invest in making the factories in America. And I can't afford to pay Americans to do the job and sell the product in America because no one will buy it because there's cheap Chinese shit everywhere. Yeah, no shit. That's what the tariffs are trying to solve. He's sitting here like, I'll lose money. I can't afford to manufacture. Well, no shit, you can't afford to manufacture in the United States. You'd rather use cheap fucking labor from other countries, essentially slave labor, and skim profit off of the top. And that's great for the government too, because guess what? You're making all this extra profit as a medium business owner. I'll give him that. And the government's like, ooh, taxi time, tax. You have lots of capital, Mr. Lewis. No. Since the 80s, when we've been exporting all of our business to other countries, thanks to Reagan and Clinton and their policies on international trade and policies in dealing with China by, well, we're just going to send them a bunch of money and show them that our way of capitalism is better. Instead, we empowered their communism. And they have this fucked up feudalist bullshit that they use. No, Lewis's entire argument, he spends 44 minutes talking about how there are no factories in this country. Well, no shit, because you've kept voting for people, and the boomers kept voting for people that would send it away overseas for a quick buck. No one will buy things made in America because it's too expensive. Well, one, if people were paid proper wages to work jobs that stayed in America, they'd be able to buy American products. It wouldn't fucking matter. But instead, you have the average American worker competing for slave wages in another country. Shocker. So people can't afford anything now. It's easy for him, as a successful business owner, to come out and say, well, we don't have the infrastructure here in this country anymore. We're like, yeah, Trump shouldn't be doing this because we don't have the infrastructure in this country anymore. Well, no shit, we don't have the infrastructure anymore. Maybe we should build it. Maybe we should get to it. Maybe we should, I don't know, pull away from China completely. And then his next argument was, well, why didn't we do that before tariffs? Because that would take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to do. All right? The Trump admin will only last 4 years. Right now, China is dependent on us. The EU is dependent on us. India is dependent on us. Canada is dependent on us. They are all dependent on us and our market. Simple. If we can put them under our heel now, while we are in power, guess what? The negotiations would be a lot nicer when we do build our infrastructure, when we are finished with building our infrastructure. Because that's not like that's not on the table. We've all listened to them. We need to bring back jobs in America. Well, no shit. So what does that imply? The obvious. So his arguments are just moot. They are well, I have to pay more for importing products for my tech repair business. Things cost more. It's more expensive. Well, it's more expensive because of this fucked up system we've built of, well, here, we're going to take the minerals from one country, apply them with the intellectual ability of another country, and then send it to a plant for processing in another country, and then send it for manufacturing in another country, and then put it on another boat, finally, to send it back home to where it was invented for people to buy. He's talking to a bunch of people who are not tech illiterate, but they are business illiterate. I don't have my books printed in China for a reason. Because it's a waste of energy to do it. It sure costs more to do it in the US. My stipend at the end, what I get out of it is less. But I don't care because I'm employing and giving business and putting food on the table for fellow Americans. And guess what? That's flawed too. Because what are we doing at the same time? Bringing in workers from South America and Central America to work in our country, replacing America. Okay. Yeah, PlayStation, we aren't. PlayStation. PlayStation. See? And now it doesn't listen. We're going to settings. Sound. Voice command off because it doesn't work. So we're importing people into our country to work our jobs for less because they'd rather make as much profit as possible. They're incentivized, thanks to the way investment works, to make as much profit as possible. And that money goes only upwards. Duh. Huh? This car works? Okay then. Classic F1 car versus rally cars. Put it in third. Let's try that again. So no, let's Lewis is essentially making terrible fucking arguments. Man, I'm making much money. That's essentially it. The worst part is the thumbnail to that video is him with fucking AOC craziness. I'm disgusted. I've subscribed to him for years because he had great consumerist commentary on the predatory consumerist policies that these companies tend to have in terms of turning things like this game. I pay for a subscription to play this game. That comes with a monthly fee to enjoy. Alright, you don't own anything anymore. You pay for a subscription to have it. It is essentially the property tax model, as I'll dub it, with owning things. You don't own anything. Not even the shirt on your back. You pay for a subscription to use it. Your car? No? That's a privilege. You pay the state to use something you pay a company that built it, not your country, to use. And I get spun out by an opponent. Of course. Instead of avoiding the car that is sliding fucking sideways, we're just going to barrel straight ahead. But no, he's pissed. And I'm shocked he's not receiving any criticism. Why? Because the people in his audience, the people in his circle, are techies, alright? They are destroy capitalism. But at the same time, they don't want this country to prosper. They're anti-Trump, essentially. They're elitists. They hate the little guy. Okay? For them, it's NIMBYism. It's just straight NIMBYism, not in my backyard. They don't want policies like this to affect them and their livelihood. No, fuck you. I want things that benefit me only. Foreign workers in another country working for pennies on a dollar for a product that has a 2 billion% markup rate when it costs jack shit to make helps these people because it helps pay for their bullshit middle management do-nothing job that you have to have a bachelor's or master's or PhD to have. We live in a world where there are two classes of people, well, three classes. There are the untouchables, working service industry jobs, or unemployed entirely, under the boot of the tax system, under the boot of employers, and then you have the managerial class, the professional managerial class, as they have described themselves in a recent article like that, who came from professional managerial families, well-to-do families, upper middle class, gone to college, could afford college, and use nepotism to get their way into a sit-on-your-ass, do-nothing fucking job. This is like my old store manager. Worked at Kroger's. Her mommy also works for Kroger's. This woman is just miserable. You can tell she's miserable. She wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but her doctor husband won't allow it. Because they're living well outside of their means, $500,000 home, throwing huge lavish parties on their time off, going on cruises, and their kid is completely uneducated, pompous little brat. After I left that job, look at these people. Come on, come on. Yep, turn me straight, please. I appreciate it. I've mingled with these people. She's miserable. Oh, turn. Okay. It's just horrible. These are professional managers. They come from a family of professional managers. They are produce nothing but be in charge of everything sort of people. And then you have like people who are in charge of Kroger's CEO, Rodney McMullins. What does he do? His job is to please investors. That's it. CEOs and large business owners don't do much. And that's a truth from the left. These rich fucks don't do anything but pat their asses. At least middle management does things. At least they come up with ideas. At least they have initiative because they have drive to move upwards. When you're up at that level in the billions, your only drive is, well, I need to make more money. I can get rich. Okay, those fireworks are extremely distracting. Oh, I can't even see the road. But Lewis is a business owner. He is directly affected by the tariffs because his costs went. Look, that is the price you have to pay as a quote-unquote American business if you want America to prosper. Because if you don't let America prosper, your business will go under. Maybe not now. It may not feel hurty-hurt right now like it does with tariffs, but it will. There will be nothing for you to leave to your children. There will be no business for you to leave. There will be no business for your progenitors to leave to theirs. It will all be owned by China. It will all be owned by India. It'll all be ran by indentured servant slaves who only exist in this country because Democrats need voters, not people to pay for Social Security. No, they need voters so they can have absolute control. And whoever is in charge of them has absolute control. Primarily the Chinese and the World Economic Forum. So that's an unsubscribe. I followed him for years because I agreed with the anti-consumer policies that businesses have been doing. Part of that is sending your labor overseas. Nuremberg Cup. I hate this track. Alright, back to being quiet. A racing race car. Let's get the soft. Well, there's going to be no update this month for Gran Turismo. Car settings. Racing. Soft. 577. That might just be enough. This may make me extremely frustrated because I believe this car is completely stock. I have a handling advantage. As long as I don't have Nissan GTRs, like, fucking right in the racing line. Closing the door on me. Yeah, if you notice, these cars are a bit faster than me. But look at how much I catch up in the turns. And now they are closing the door. I'll win this by inertia. Yeah, that looks like the hard chicane. Yep, out of my way. I'm gonna bump a lot of these cars out of the way. And no, I didn't listen to the whole Lewis video. I was listening to it through my headsets while doing the stream. Extra background noise, you know? Now we're getting into vehicles that are faster than we accept in the corners. Wide, don't touch the brakes, come in hard. There's my winning position right in front of me. The other two leaders are way too far ahead. I'll settle for third place. Yep. Sitting in the line. Such an ignorant position to take. I am appalled. It's always the people who act and portray themselves as I am Mr. Smarty Pants, high IQ kids that end up having the dumbest takes with the most microscopic view on things. You have a macro problem. Business in this country is fizzling out. Wealth in this country is fizzling out. You are starting to have the really, really, really poor, the managers, and the disgustingly rich people in this country. And that's very funny coming from someone like me. But it's really funny when you see someone who's essentially managerial class come out defending the disgustingly rich when something happens that hurts the disgustingly rich and helps the untouchable class. Shocker, I know. It's like Pavlov was activated. They rang the dinner bell. Here he comes running. Yes, Master. Yes, Master. I will say Trump is bad. Trump is bad. Okay. Cool. What did you do? Not get another government grant? Is that the reason? I highly doubt Louis Rossman, of all people, would have the short-sightedness to come out against incentivizing businesses to come to the United States through tariffing. No, you don't. I will block the racing line on you, my friend. Is that a Subaru? It's extremely short-sighted. It's boomer. All right, it's my success now, my pocket now, now. Money now. Yeah, instant gratification. It's not, well, I need to plant a seed for which plant I'll never live to the under the shade of. That is the number one thing that has been lost to American culture, and it is further being eroded by mass immigration. The boomers were handed a golden plate, and they have parsed and beaten and used and worn out every aspect of this plate. They have no willing to leave anything for their children. They have actively voted for a system that is bleeding them dry, so if they want to give something to their children, they can't. None of it will get to them, and if they can, the government's going to come and take it right back through inheritance taxes. Nothing the prior generations that have built this country for 250 years will ever reach the hands of Gen Z. Because it will all be scooped up, sucked up, pulled up, by a systematic building in this country to suck up wealth. You could say it's capitalism, but in reality, it's weaponized oligarchy. It is the oligarchy asserting hegemony on a rogue state, a rebel state. It took them 250 years to do it under the guise of capitalism, but it's simply the old world reining in the rebel child by presenting a carrot on a stick. The boomers were given everything. The boomers are the hippies, all right? They're the gimme, gimme, gimme people. Fuck you, that's mine. All right, they are the people who did the big rebel. Shock. They got in charge. They got a hold of the reins that their parents loved them, because their parents did what they were supposed to do. The boomers, being the hippie rebels, they're gonna burn it all. Burn it to the ground. And that's exactly what they did. Here's my generation, Gen Z. The millennials and Gen X have been just fighting with each other to try to get scraps from boomer mom and dad. And here's Gen X, Gen Z, Gen A, and Gen B. All right, coming up into this world. Gen Z, especially coming up, watching the utter collapse from what we had in the 90s, the Clinton era. Reagan and Clinton created an economic boom for the boomers. After everything was parsed and ripped and torn apart, and the boomers retired, what happened? Economy collapsed. The only people who made it? Boomers. Gen X was able to get some before the bell tolled. Millennials didn't have time to do it. Gen Z just coming in after it. Millennials raised by Gen X and boomers. I want. Gimme, 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 gimme. Because they see their parents have. Gen Z, raised by boomers, Gen X, and millennials, or mix, or however it is, looking at people who have, and then people who scream gimme, 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 and they look at what they will get. Nothing. Voila. But no, we shouldn't invest in America. We shouldn't try to invest in America. Fuck it. Hopeless cause, Lewis. Hopeless cause. Let's just completely throw it all out. Give up, roll over, bend over, let whatever China and India and whatever else, whoever else wants to do. Why? Because at least your life is easier until you die, alright? And then things go to shit. It don't affect you right here, right now, immediately. That's for later Lewis to deal with. Yeah. Genius from someone who's so Mr. Smart. That's such a microscopic, stupid way to look at it. Oh, anyone with ADHD can and has a brain understands this. I can I can play this game and leave my laundry that I don't need to function and be prepared at work in the washing machine, and then wake up, or it'd be 10 minutes before I need to go to bed, and I'm folding laundry and doing it because I have to get it done. Because right now I'm enjoying the pleasures of the now, right? And then it'll be suffering of the future. Or I can take this trials and the tribulations and take care of my laundry and schedule it, do a stream, play a video game, stop, do my laundry, come back. I can still play video games. And I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. And I don't have to worry about it 10 minutes before it's time to go to bed, so I have to wake up in the morning on Monday. Shocker! I have more time to enjoy myself. It is minor trials in the long scheme of things that make the future better. Instead of, well, let's just pile that to the side and let's have the please and pleasure of the now and only that now. That's for later me to worry about. Stupid. Just short-minded, childish fucking way of looking at things. Doesn't work. Take the excuse of, well, I forgot. I forgot about it. Well, yeah, you forget about things. Don't do it again. Duh. Alright. We have a Group 1 race to do. I can do the hybrid that'll lose power, or I could drive the FAP, which is a big V8, 988 horsepower, top speed monster. Or the Honda, not Honda, but Toyota, which has a very good top speed. I mean, I haven't driven this in a while. But I like the Porsche and the Toyota. This, I'm not driving this, it's garbage. Category. Why not? Alright. That's neutral. 10 laps of this. Settings, car settings. What do we have? Turbo. Alright, medium. Ding, ding. Start. Get a feel for the car. We're going from I have a top speed advantage. Only 3 laps. And I get pushed even further around by AIs. And then I touch the grass and I spin completely around. Yep. Gran Turismo. It's Gran Turismo. Not shocked. Come on. I don't trust these AIs, not in the slightest. I could probably get into the lead before the first pit stop. Yep, definitely. Come on. My great advantage on this track is that bus stop. And having a high top speed. Draft. Come around where I can. Sit past. Oops. 787B, or is that the Jaguar? I got track limit, but I followed that Jaguar's path. 1 lap, alright. I will have to turn into the, hits after this. You fucker closing the door on me. I'm just gonna stop and get fuel. No tire change, that'll get me back out on the road immediately. 2, and brake, brake, brake. Go. Don't change. I think my tires can last another 5 laps. Unfortunately, all of them are going to have to take a pit stop regardless. I should be able to endure the rest of the race. Hoosier. Fifth place. I like this inside position here. Thank you. I hear that 787B guy. I don't see him. Nice. Try, bitch. tire getting a little angry. Nope, I shouldn't have done that. Wrong car. There we go, that's how it's done! Yeah, that little slip in. Oh. Tire's going bad. I wish I could, it was like Gran Turismo 4, where you could choose what you wanted on your front and rear. Because if I had the option to just change the two back tires, I would, in a heartbeat. Just for the vehicle, just to save like 10 seconds and change the tires. There it goes. I would just brake a lot harder. Here. I should have enough time. Clutch. Alright, we're running with a dead tire on the rear. It's still possible. Ooh. I just bunked the fucking race because I didn't change tires. Come on. Just go wide. Come on. I don't want to do this again! Such a stupid mistake. Okay. Oh. Thank goodness. I'll take it. Oh. Weekly challenge complete, and it's only been an hour. All right. I'll call it here.